Alright, and welcome to the Unit 9 test review number 3. Now in problem number 9 it says what value of x makes the following equation true. So I think if you really just know the first step here, you'll probably be pretty good at this. So we have 12 to the power of 3x plus 6 is equal to 56,892. Now in this case, what we really want is we want this x out of the exponent. So the question you would ask yourself, how do I get something out of an exponent? Well, in this case, I want to take the logarithm. It allows me to take everything in the exponent and bring it down in front. Okay, and what I do to the left, of course, I have to do to the right. So what's this actually going to look like? Well, let's think about this. Our 3x plus 6 gets to come down all the way down to the front. And then we have this log of 12 is equal to the log of 56,892. Now, in this case, we really want to treat this all as if it's one quantity just for the moment. That's why I put it in parentheses. And so you would say, well, how do I get rid of this log 12? Well, we'll multiply. Oh, I'm sorry. It's being multiplied by log 12. Well, what's the opposite of multiplication? And of course, that is division. So we will divide both sides by the log of 12. And we can divide by the log of 12. Now here's what I'll do. I will go ahead and write up our final equation up here that I'll do with you, and then I'll leave you to solve this on your own. So at this point, what you'll have is this. 3x plus 6 is equal to, and on the right-hand side, you'll have the log. Remember, whatever's in the denominator becomes our base, the log base 12 of 56,892. Now this is actually a number, so what you'll do is put that into some sort of calculator. And once you calculate what the log base 12 of 56,892 is, you can then set it equal to the 3x plus 6 and solve for x. Alright, pause the video, finish taking notes. Let's move on to example number 10. Okay, for example number 10, it tells us that f of x is being transformed into g of x. So we know that we should actually just write g of x. And when it's transformed to become, we're saying, hey, this is the rule that is transforming it. Well, you always want to ask yourself, what comes first, the multiplication or the subtraction and the addition? And hopefully you said the multiplication. Okay, so basically what this negative 1/3 f of x is telling us is we want to multiply all of f of x by negative 1/3. So I go ahead and take whatever f of x was, and I just write it in this parentheses. Cubic roots of x minus 2 plus 6. Okay. Oh, let's get the right ones here. Now, in this case, the one thing you always want to remember is that this multiplication not only multiplies by the 3, it also distributes to the 6 at the end. So our next line should look something like this. G of x is equal to negative 1/3 times 3, which is actually just negative 1. And then the one thing that won't change is this cubic roots of x minus 2. However, you want to leave a little space on the inside, and then this negative 1/3 times positive 6 is actually negative 2. And once again, let's go ahead and we implicitly leave space on the outside. Now at this point, let's go back to our rule, and we see that inside the parentheses, which means inside the function or wherever x is, we have this negative 4, so I'll put minus 4. And on the outside we have a plus 8, so on the outside I'll put plus 8. And, oh my bad guys, I should have written, oh, I made a mistake here. No, I didn't make a mistake. Okay, yeah, now this is all good, all good. Alright, got tripped up for a second. And now we can say this, hey, I leave you to simplify this top line here to figure out what g of x is. And everything is correct up to this point, so don't worry. Alright, pause your video. Let's go ahead and move on to question number 11. Okay, question number 11. This is actually something that we call a rational equation because we have essentially a fraction is equal to a fraction. And at this point, what you would do here, pretty simple. You've actually been doing this since the 8th grade. You just want to do your cross multiplication or your butterfly method. Okay? So really we're saying, hey, if we do 2 times 3x minus 2, and we set that equal to 7 times 5x minus 5, we can now solve for x fairly easy. I will leave you to solve for x. All right, let's move on to example number 12. Okay, here we have what is the fully factored form of 2x cubed plus 5x squared minus 18x minus 45. And I'm actually going to work out this problem completely for you when we're given that 2x plus 5 is a factor. So if you're given that 2x plus 5 is a factor, that's telling you that you would actually like to divide. Okay, so let's see, if I want to divide this stuff right here, okay, what do I want to do? Well, I know that step number 1, I want to divide my leading coefficients. So I'll do 2x cubed divided by 2x, which will of course give me x squared. Let me go ahead and write that in a different color. That'll give me x squared. And then I want to take that x squared and I want to distribute it back through those two things. So x squared times 2x gives me, once again, 2x cubed. And x squared times 5 is 5x squared. Okay, that's actually kind of nice. Now I know that I want to subtract these two quantities. So a negative times a positive is a negative. A negative times a positive is a negative. And this will give me 0, and this will give me 0, and that's actually kind of interesting. When that happens, for your step 4, you actually want to drop both terms, because you always want to be working with the same number of terms as your divisor. Okay, and let's do all this again. So from here, let's use a different color. Let's use this nice green. We can do negative 18x, our new leading coefficient, divided by 2x, and this will give me negative 9 minus 9. I know that I want to distribute. Negative 9 times 2x is negative 18x, and negative 9 times 5 is negative 45. Notice that these two things are the same, so if I subtract them I should get 0, but let's just work it out. A negative times a negative is a positive, a negative times a negative is a positive, and here negative 18x plus 18x is 0, and negative 45 plus 45 is 0, and this is pretty interesting. There's no remainder. Now this is what we would expect if 2x plus 5 is a factor. Okay, now as you continue to write that down, let me do a little erasing over here, because this question is actually asking you for the fully factored form. So how in the world do you find the fully factored form? Well, we know that we are given 2x plus 5 is a factor, so we write 2x plus 5. And the quotient of our polynomial in 2x plus 5 is this x squared minus 9. So the question is, can you factor x squared minus 9? And most of y'all will know that the answer, of course, is yes. X squared minus 9 splits up to x minus 3 and x plus 3. Okay? And this is what we call the fully factored form. Okay? I hope that you find this video helpful, and I'll see y'all in our next video.